Now, from Channel 5, home of the Summer Olympics, this is an Olympic news break.
Good evening from Texas News 5. We want to take a few minutes now to update you on this evening's news.
And we want to point out that you are not missing one moment of Olympic coverage. They are taking a break so that we can update you on the day's news. And we begin tonight with rough seas that are keeping investigators from locating the flight recorders that could help tell what destroyed TWA Flight 800 Wednesday night.
One FBI official says that so far he's seen evidence that points to terrorism and other evidence that points to an accident. Bad weather off the coast of Long Island hampered today's efforts to recover more victims and wreckage of the flight. Investigators do say sonar may have located large pieces of wreckage, but they weren't able to pinpoint the location because rough seas made the boat crews sick. Meanwhile, the Suffolk County Medical Examiner released more information about those who died in the crash.
The autopsies did not reveal anything about the nature of the explosion. So far, the pattern of injuries we are seeing are those from deceleration, in other words, impact, from high-speed impact.
The medical examiner says that there is some evidence that some of the victims may have drowned, but he adds that they probably didn't suffer because in all likelihood they were unconscious at the time. And as for that theory that a missile may have struck the jet, experts are saying that's highly unlikely. They say even a missile fired from a boat couldn't have reached a jet traveling at 14,000 feet. A Dallas police officer was fired late this afternoon for his role in a shooting and beating several weeks ago. Following a hearing today, Police Chief Ben Click fired Senior Corporal Stephen O'Brien. The firing stems from an accident in June when O'Brien was videotaped beating a wounded kidnapping suspect.
After many people pointed the finger of racism at the burning of a church in Greenville, federal agents tonight say that racism had nothing to do with it. 18-year-old Mark Anthony Young has been arrested this evening on both state and federal arson charges after investigators say that he confessed to setting the Church of the Living God on fire back in June. Young's case will now go before a federal grand jury, which will consider additional charges at the end of this month. Meanwhile, investigators are looking for suspects in another suspicious church fire. Investigators say arson appears to be the cause of a fire in the Denton County town of Bolivar. The Bolivar Baptist Church went up in flames this morning. Damage is estimated at $30,000, and investigators say that the church was also vandalized and had been vandalized several times in the past.
A 20-month-old boy is in critical condition tonight after allegedly being beaten by his mother's boyfriend. 27-year-old Gregory Lynn Back is the man Fort Worth police say decided to discipline the child by bashing the boy's head against the floor.
This is so overboard as far as discipline. Nobody would call this disciplinary. This is just child abuse.
Police say Brandon Clay was left with Back while his mother played bingo last night. When she returned, she found him in bed, his eyes open and not responding. Brandon was taken to Fort Worth Cook's Children's Medical Center where he underwent surgery for brain and head trauma. Right now, Back faces felony charges of injury to a child. Police say if little Brandon dies, Back will be charged with murder. Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson's top aide has resigned tonight, accusing the Dallas Democrat of misusing her staff. Joan Cones claims that Johnson made her staff drive her to and from work, pick up her dry cleaning, and fax campaign materials to her district office. Johnson says some of her staffers do drive her around and pick up her dry cleaning, but she denies the work was mandatory or that it was performed on congressional time. Well, it's shaping up to be another hot weekend here in North Texas.
And how hot's it going to be? Let's check in with meteorologist David Finfrock. David?
Hot enough that a heat advisory has been posted here in North Texas. Now, there are some cooling showers in the western regions of the state and back into eastern New Mexico. The shower activity we saw earlier in southeast Texas has mostly dissipated, though, here as the sun starts going down. Across the region, still very warm, 95 in Fort Worth, 97 in Dallas, a little cooler down in the southeastern part of the state where those showers are gradually falling apart. Looking out into the Gulf, there is some action there, showers and thunderstorms increasing. We'll keep an eye just in case that begins to develop any over the weekend, but up here in Texas, I don't think it'll have any impact at all. Meanwhile, in Atlanta, everyone's focus for attention this evening, 90 degrees right now as the opening ceremonies continue. Doesn't look like there will be any rain there. It is plenty warm, though, in Atlanta right now, 90 with a heat index of 93. Around here, the forecast calling for about the same thing, maybe even hotter. Fair and warm overnight with a low of 79. Temperatures headed up to 99 tomorrow, and the heat advisory will continue through the weekend. Mike and Jane.
There's a reason they call it Hotlanta. Thanks, David.
Well, you know, we ask this question every day around here. How do you beat the Texas heat?
Well, some of the athletes you'll be seeing in the Olympics may have an answer. Tonight, after the Olympics, our Angela Kane will show you how some of the world's greatest athletes beat the heat, and researchers say you can do it the same way. That is tonight on Texas News 5, right after the Olympics.
I'll be watching and taking notes.
That's right. You need it around here right now. Well, it's time to go back to the Olympics right now.
For all of us here at the Texas News Channel, thanks for watching, and have a good time. Should be a neat ceremony tonight, watching the flame be lit, and it's still a secret who's going to carry the flame up the steps and get to the cauldron to light the fire tonight.
An exciting evening. One of the possibilities, of course, that we have talked about is that former President Jimmy Carter could possibly carry the flame tonight.
Also, the son of Martin Luther King Jr. could possibly carry it up the steps. Martin Luther King III is said to be standing by somewhere. Who knows? It's one of the best kept secrets on the East Coast and the nation, for that matter. Who's it going to be? Who will be in the T-shirts and the shorts and the sneakers running up the steps?
Of course, our own Scott Murray, who is at the Olympics tonight and will have a report for us after the opening ceremonies, got the honor of carrying the flame himself right here in North Texas.
Sure did. We'll see you after the games. Have a good show.
NBC's coverage of the opening ceremony continues.